And African nations are rejecting France's colonial legacy. Paris is losing its grip on the continent because of its brutal colonial history. France has been trying to address the past by returning colonial loot, but a clear and direct apology is still missing. France has returned 3 colonial-era human skulls to Madagascar after 128 years. The remains that are believed to include King Toera of the Sakalava ethnic group were handed over at a ceremony in Paris. They had been stored in Paris for decades at the National Museum of Natural History. France's culture minister called the handover a historic event, while her Madagascar counterpart described it as a significant moment for the Sakalava community and the nation.
This restitution of the 3 Sakalava skulls, including the one presumed to belong to King Toera, from the collections of the National Museum of Natural History, marks a historic event between France and Madagascar.
Cette cérémonie symbolise aussi l'achèvement d'un processus à la fois historique.
Nous sommes effectivement réunis pour le retour.
We are indeed gathered for the return of our ancestors, these human remains, including those of our great, I would say great King Toera. They are not a mere collector's item. They are the invisible and indelible link, Madam Minister, that unites our present to our past.
Elles sont le lien invisible, Madame la Ministre, et indélébile qui unit notre présent.
This marks the first restitution under a 2023 law, which facilitates the return of human remains from France's public collections. Earlier this year, Paris also unveiled a new bill aimed at speeding up the return of colonial-era artworks to their countries of origin. As per reports, around 90,000 African objects are still held in French collections. They were acquired through looting during colonial wars, through confiscations, coercive purchases, and so-called scientific expeditions that took objects without consent. Shortly after taking office in 2017, President Emmanuel Macron promised to facilitate the return of African cultural heritage within 5 years. So far, France has returned 26 royal treasures to Benin in 2021, including a throne, a sword belonging to 19th century leader Al-Hajj Omar Toll to Senegal, and a talking drum that was looted in 1916 to the Ivory Coast. And now 3 human skulls to Madagascar. But critics say this is not enough. African leaders and activists insist that returning looted objects must be accompanied by a formal apology and even reparations. And France has refused to do that. Macron has acknowledged French brutality in several countries. He has admitted to torture and killings in Algeria. He has recognized massacres in Madagascar in 1947, and more recently, violence in Cameroon during its struggle for independence. But in each case, he stopped short of a formal apology. France prefers words like regret, recognition, or responsibility, but never apology. Critics see this as dodging moral accountability and say that handing back loot is necessary, but it cannot erase a brutal colonial legacy.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
$36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor,
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka-charge mo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Skali radikali.
Japanese,
$1 trilhão idioma.
Portuguese,
Por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.